Hello, Jeff from RV Diagnostics. I'm working on a Tiffin Allegro 2007 bus, Allegro bus 42 QDP with tag axle. Remember, I purchased it knowing a couple things were wrong, got a heck of a deal on it. Here we go. Let's turn it around and show you what I did. I think it's video 4 or 5. I'll put the right one. But here we go. So we went over all this, and I made angle brackets. I told you a guy across the street actually welded them up for me. So right here, this thing, that's the angle right there. Get real close. See? So it's actually 2 inches wide, so inch this way, inch that way. You can see some of the screws that I've already countersunk. Right there you go. Where are they at? There, right there. So this is not flexing, folks. It's just like this right here. So here we go. That's the long one I was worrying about because it did drop. All right, I can walk on this now. There's the short one. All right, I'll tell you how many inches they all are. That don't flex. And then just for giggles or whatever, extra reinforcement, I put this one in right here. So, because we're going to walk just that way right there. Like, whoa. All right, that was dumb of me. I stepped on the styrofoam there like a dummy. Okay, so one, I got a little bit more to cut out in there. You can't see it. I got to mount the 120 box. And there's some other things. Then I'll cut it out a little bit. So I'm going to have one piece. Remember, I'm going halfway. That's 1.5 inches, so 3/4 of an inch. It'll come down this way and fit in here and go under. All right. And see, I can step on all this now. Then the second piece will be from this one halfway over, I think, to that one. All right, so there's a couple ways I can do it. I can do one piece from there to there and one piece from all the way. But I got to fit it under that fridge, so I think I'm going to go from that one over and then make the angle. Then I'll put another piece to here, and then another piece will go from here to that one halfway. Remember, it's half of that thickness. That's 1.5 inch square tube, I think 11 gauge. Then I might two-piece this one because I have to cut all this out. All right, because there's the support, or floor joists, if you want to call them, but they are 1.5 square weld. Okay, there's how I secured them. Some of them have bolts in them and self-locking nuts. There's a real close-up view right there. So that piece I got to put in. Notice it's crooked. So I'm going to have to put a straight edge on that, straighten it up. There he goes. And I dry fit it all. And what I mean is I cut it, lay it all down before I screw it down, say, okay, that's nice. And then I got to clean all this stuff up. See, that's a little bit cleaner. But I still got junk. So all them tubes, all the way down, square tubes, have to be clean. And then I put liquid nails, contractor grade. And then I'll put each piece down and screw it in. Okay, so we're getting ready to do our first cut. We'll do this one first because that's like the big one. It's the easy one. You go, ooh, I'm getting somewhere. So I'm gonna go from this one right here, walk this beam right here, and I'm gonna go to here because it's 4 foot. That's 4 foot across. All right. And remember yesterday, I made a video the other day on how many 16ths there are on an inch. Well, I've been doing it so long, I add a 16th to every cut because the saw blade itself. So I apologize. It's at the end of the measurement. It was 1 1/8. It was 1 1/16. But I add a 16th automatically. So that's in that video. Remember, I learned a couple things from people that did roofing work for houses and plywood and floor. You cut on the line, you cut inside the line, you cut right outside the line. And this depends how things are fitting. You still have to have an expansion joint, but you don't want no 3/4 of an inch either. So, 1/16 and 1/8 of an inch is good. All right, especially for expansion and all. And all right, so I'm gonna cut my first wood. I'll give you the measurements all on this one, and then we'll go from there. Thank you very much, Jeff from RV Diagnostics. It's a short video. Don't forget, on the YouTube channel, when you subscribe, only new members, don't unsubscribe and then subscribe again, because I know who you are. It tells me. I'm giving away $8,000 in free memberships to my website. That's $200 a piece, 40 memberships. That's $8,000. You get me for a year. You get my personal telephone number. I call you. I'll walk you through it. And over the 8 years, probably, I don't know, 7,000 people have joined. Some people stay with me. Some people, they do 2 or 3 years in RVs and they get rid of it. So trust me, folks, I earn my money. I'm a diagnostician, and I'm pretty much in the high 90%, 92 and above troubleshooting, teaching you how to do it. So we all make mistakes. And I like the ones that go, hey, I ask them, you got a multimeter and basic hand tools? They go, what's a multimeter? Actually, you're easier to teach than the ones that learned a multimeter, and I have to undo what you learned. There's a lot of techs out there that don't even know on a fluke scale what 300 millivolt range is for. They don't. You can ask 90% of them. I used to troubleshoot going into garages. Mercedes, Beamers, any car. They'd call me up, hey, this is messed up and we're going to really lose our butt. All right, and I go in there and troubleshoot for them, and I bring the tech along, and some of them didn't like it because they thought I knew more than them. No, I just apply myself more. There you go. And I've test, not guess, since 12 years old. All right. Rare do I wing it. I mean, you know what I mean? Rare. I'd say 0.01%. All right. You don't learn nothing if you don't test. All right. Thank you very much, Jeff from RV Diagnostics. Remember, good ain't cheap, but cheap ain't good. Don't forget, test, not guess. Don't forget to sign up for the YouTube channel. Give me some likes. And that I'm giving away $8,000 worth of free membership, 1-year memberships, to my website, www.rvdiagnostics.com.